But okay, I'll get this together. Typically, like it's $150 to install toilet.
Okay.
And then my hourly rate is $85 an hour.
Okay.
So then to plumb the other two, probably 2 hours.
Woke up this morning, I didn't give a fuck. Took the first sip of my coffee, and I knew I still didn't give a fuck. It's a beautiful morning, and guess what? I don't give a fuck.
In this case, I want to find out at a level of 7. Okay, so I find that level on my graph, and I come horizontally to my gradient line. Where it intersects with my gradient line, I'm going to come straight down to where it intersects with my fuck around line. Now there is going to tell me how much I have to fuck around to find out what I need to find out. See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. And also, if you stay down here and you never fuck around, you'll never find out. So I hope this lesson is helpful. Thank you.
What's up with it, people? What's up with it? It's getting closer to Christmas. Look, Noel got me this thing. It has a little fake news button, so I'll be using it on my streams. Check it out.
Listen, you fake news, you fake news. Fake news, fake news, fake news.
It shall come in handy with who we cover over here, especially Donna Seraphina.
Come on, you are fake news.
Absolutely
Okay,
fake news. Fake. Now, people, this lady is senile. She's not like a grandma. It's about to be Christmas in a few days. I'm about to see my grandma. Very like heartening, good memories of grandma, baking cookies, spoiling me, going spending summers with her. Grandmas don't act like Donna Seraphina. That's not how grandmas act. They're baking cookies. They're doing other things. This lady is on some other type of time, and she's out of control, senile Karen, and it's got to stop. I don't know why. This lady has a massive, massive ego problem, and she wants to control a narrative. Now, earlier this week, I dropped a video where she called Benny Key's probation officer, and like the dunce that she is, she decided it would be a good idea. You'd think she'd see this coming and all, being a psychic. She thought it would be a good idea to limp her senile ass over to my comments and start responding with lies about all types of things. Now, as I'm reading the lies and getting the screenshots, I noticed some names in my comments that I haven't seen too much before. And that's when it hit me. These are Donna's people asking questions like, Donna has felonies? Donna's a felon? Yes, Donna Seraphina, the fraud, felon, senile, Karen, grandma psychic, is indeed a felon. Now, it is very important. Do I care that somebody's a felon? Me, of all people? Not really, right? How could I even say that? Now, here's the problem I have with Donna Seraphina, right? It's very simple, and it goes like this.
I'm talking about Benny Keith making shit videos about me and this dirty white boy. I can't wait till this dirty white boy kid goes back to fucking jail, because everybody on his cell block is going to know that he's been spending 2 years sticking his head up the ass of a pedophile, and he's been promoting the pedophiles. Yeah, that's going to go over really well next time you're in the pen.
Well, the good news is that he's no longer
Wells, from what I understand.
Well, he owed me an apology.
Yeah. Oh, I
And
agree.
let's not have that. Oh, I'm waiting for the day. Because these idiots, these people who go to prison, they usually go back. Okay. And when he does, oh, every link he ever did where he pretended it was okay for these pedophiles to harm this child, it's going to go to his whole cell block.
Fake news. Listen, you're being rude. You're fake news. You're fake news. Stop being rude. You're fake news. That's such fake news.
Fake news, Donna. What chomos am I supporting over here? And all this tough talk about you cannot wait till I go back to prison and I go back. Hey, lady, I never went back to prison, but maybe that's you. Maybe you'll go back to prison. Now, before I show you all these receipts I have planned for you, and we also have a mother joining us to give us details on her son's missing case at the end of the live. Before I do all that, you know, and I get to you guys' comments. As you hear that, clip, you hear Sweetie Pilo also in the clip, trying to change the story, trying to say, Donna, like, yeah, he's not cool with Don Wells. Sweetie Pilo has like a little bit of sense, right? The problem is like Sweetie Pilo has to like, yes, ma'am, Donna. Like, who made senile Karen Donna Seraphina the king, queen, king dingling of the psychic community? Who created this? Why do all the YouTube true crime creators, psychic, want to be like her? She didn't solve any cases. And if you want to be like her, you're aspiring to just be a felon. You're aspiring to be a fuck up. Because Donna Seraphina is absolutely a fuck up. She spent hundreds, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to go through college just to get arrested directly after it. Like, lady, no wonder you went the psychic route. You can't put that college education to no use, being a felon and all. But you don't get to be all, and then what you don't get to do ever is come over to my comments doing lies, saying that you're not a felon, saying that you're such a, we have all the receipts, people, and we're going to get into it all. We have the mother joining us. So let me say what's up to my people. A lot of new subs. Members, I'm sorry. I gifted 5 members off the top. Babe, I was blabbing. Damaged Goods, the wifey with the 2 spot. I love you more, lady. Hyde Norway, new member. Bum. TDB, new member. Bum. I appreciate you guys a lot in the members. So much. Now let me scroll back before we bust down these receipts and we show you what a senile creator. What's up, YouTube streets? What's happening with it? This senile Karen who has lost her mind. Now, this live and this information is nothing new. Any of my OGs remember we've gone down this road in the past. But it was those comments. It was just when she's all the way over here in my section of YouTube, all the way in my, I relentlessly go live and debunk misinformation, call tragedy pimps out. You're just not allowed to lie in my comments. It's a golden rule, and we have the screenshots. And you're such a moron. You should have listened to Sweetie Pilo when she was trying to divert you, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and this is no shots towards Sweetie Pilo, but I look at the two, and like Sweetie Pilo is always like has less subscribers to Donna than Donna, but has more sense than Donna. Why take second? Why not be number one psychic? I don't know. I'm not a psychic, right? However, I am a little bit, right? I am going to show you guys on camera right now. You guys want a quick, so I can do a little bit of fortune telling, okay? It's with you guys yet, but I can do a little bit of fortune telling. Now, right now, before your eyes is literally what Donna, the Reverend Donna Seraphina, is going to eat for dinner tonight. Okay? So this is hot off the press. All right. And this is going to be what Donna is going to have for dinner tonight. This is straight fortune telling. Okay. I can't tap into my skills too much. I don't want to wear them out and stuff like that because, you know, we got to keep them, you know, we can't have them rusty, people. But here momentarily, let me show you this. If the freaking people, and what you see on the screen here, people, is a plate of shit. Because Donna Seraphina is a shit eater, but she's also a massive, massive person who contradicts themselves. So that's going to be what she'll have for dinner tonight. This is my free fortune, okay? But also, we have to understand the receipts that are involved in this live, and I'm solely making this live for all the people who came by in the video that I made, where she called the probation officer and she was responding to everybody. She had sore fingers after that video, and she kept writing all these comments.
You're fake news.
And we have to correct it, people. It's just what it is. Victor, grifting pillhead fraud, Krama Patrol, Island Diva, what's happening? Roswell, what's happening? Her creepy Momo face. Yes, we have her in tard voice. We have her all types of ways, people. Just relax. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, let's have a quick gander at it, shall we? So Reverend Donna Seraphina decides that it would be a good idea to come into my comments and do these types of shenanigans. So I'll show you, and they are up on the video I did still, so you can check these for yourself. Well, she may have dirty deleted. That's why I had to snag these. Right? But you know, here we see she says, "What the heck is with this $200? I keep seeing misinformation." That was one of the comments. I tagged her back in my own comments. Reverend Donna, hey lady, you just wrote that you don't have any felonies. Why do you gaslight and lie so much? It doesn't work over here. I think you would have saw that coming and all. You know, but the thing is with this one, she's just a complete dunce. So what we'll do here is continue. Now this one, she went all the way out on left field on. Somebody says in the screenshot down shown in this video, it states, I sent them screenshots of your automatic rifle. Donna says they probably added that in, either White Boy or BK. People, real fast. This is your true crime detective. This moron is claiming that I somehow, some way could edit her YouTube comment. I can't edit anybody's. If you guys leave a comment on here, why would anybody block any accounts? Why would there be a block list? Why would there be any use for moderators if I could just edit the comments? But this is the person who's going to find the missing children. So another lie that somehow, so what this is referring to, just so you have context, is the senile Karen found a picture of Benny Keys, and I've showed this picture many times in the past. It's from years ago. I have no idea if he's holding a real gun or not, right? But the point is, it's from years ago, years before he went to jail, years before any of the stuff happened, right? That's when it was posted, right? So what she's trying to do is call someone's probation officer and be like, tonight, what she's trying to do is show the probation officer a picture claiming that it's recently posted to gaslight and do all the nonsense that she does, as if anyone with common sense can't be like, well, actually, here's when I originally posted that photograph. I mean, this is now and apparently she's stated that she's called Benny's probation officer. So it would be in Benny's defense to simply say, ma'am, here's my Google Photos, my iPhone, whatever it is. As you can see back on my timeline, this is when this picture was posted. You know, just making Donna, exposing her, showing the lie that she is. So she says they probably added that in. I said, at Donna, you have to be kidding me. That's directly from his comments that you wrote word for word. How can I add anything to your comment? Laughing emoji. You realize it's still up for people to compare and see you lie, right? No response from Dirty Donna. Now, continuing on Dirty Donna's horrific rant in my comment sections, she says, someone says, this is just a dig on my part, because she's all in my comments. Someone says, I don't know how either one of them can sleep peacefully at night. One acts like a crypt keeper, and the other act like they crawled out of one. Then there is Ziggy and Fred added to the mix. She says, I'm a reverend. You try seeing what I see, and you'd be salty too. So I respond in my own comments, at Reverend Donna Seraphina, you only see the next grift. Actually, with those glasses, if you looked at a map, you could probably see people waving. That's about all you see. Now, continuing on these comments that she's all in my shit about, we have this. Wait, Reverend Donna is a felon? I have never been convicted of a felony. That's the official Donna Seraphina account. As you can see, I'm all over it, inserting links with receipts. She's talking to my subscribers. And I noticed there was a lot of people in my comments that video that I didn't recognize the names. And that's why we're here. So before I start reading this horrific indictment that Donna Seraphina, now remember, and unless you're just now joining the live, you would think someone who speaks like this,
Cell
right?
block. You can count on it. You can count. I'm talking about Benny Keys making shit videos about me and this dirty whack to fucking jail. Because everybody on his cell block is going to know that he's been spending 2 years sticking his head up the ass of a pedophile, and he's been promoting the pedophiles. Yeah, that's going to go over really well next time you're in the pen.
Well, the good news is that he is no longer tight with Don Wells, from what I understand.
Well, he owes me an apology.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
And unless I have it, I'm waiting for the day. Because these idiots, these people who go to prison, they usually go back. Okay? When he does,
I think we're going to stop for talking. And let's enjoy a quick 33 arrested in drug sting with 19 suspects. Give you guys a little information that you may know about dirty Donna Seraphina. But then I'm going to tell you guys something that I know you haven't heard on the internet yet. Let's see what this AI sounds like. Let me know if you could hear it in the comments. I'm coming now. Elevated truth. Can y'all hear that? One for yes. I don't know why that thing is not responding right, but let's try it again. Let me hit the comments real fast. If I have to read, I will. I'm just being lazy. Yeah, who's apologizing to that lady? She got life fucked up. Donna doesn't have a record, but you, lady, hold on a second. Can everybody give Kim French? Can everybody call? Can I get Kim French? You are the weakest link. Now, Fax, what's up, Fax? I'm going to fix it. Now, Kim French, Donna doesn't have a record, but you do. 100% explain that. So you realize, like, I have about like maybe like a few hundred prison videos, right, on this channel, talking about my record and where it brought me, right? The difference between me and Dirty Donna is I don't hide behind it, right? It's not what I do, right? Already put it all out there. I would never say dumb shit like that, what she just said, right? If I was arrested and indicted, right? Dirty Donna has got to be one of the dumbest people that I know. And I understand why she's a psychic, because all her education got wiped. I mean, who sets up a fucking business to sell weed, but forgets to, well, I don't know, get the license to sell weed? Dirt. But it's more than that, because a lot of people know what this is. And you're right. I do have a record. I've been through the system. You're way late. Being that I've been through the system, I can peep what's going on as I'm reading this. I can peep out when someone has all these co-defendants and they all get jail time, but one person, wait a minute now, that's not adding up, right? The math's not, see, the problem's not with me. Did you want to come on panel and have a debate? Do we have any more comments from Kim French? You really put your foot in your mouth, you fucking moron. But let's have a look-see at Donna Seraphina, this fucking senile, grifting Karen psychic, saying how I should rot in prison and all this type of shit. Once you go, you never go. You go back. Oh, well, fuck. By your own logic, I guess we'll both be back, huh, Donna? By your own logic. $33 arrested in drug sting with 19 suspects. All righty. I'm just going to read this. Kim French. Kim French, you know what you are?
You fake news. You fake news.
So the article states, doesn't look like my AI is going to be able to read it for us all, but that's okay. Undercover sting operation targeted targeting drug dealers in local off-base military housing has resulted in 33 people being arrested on felony charges, authorities said yesterday. The officials refused to say what area or areas were involved because of the 19 more arrests that are pending, said Deputy District Attorney Chris Lindbergh, who is heading the prosecutions. They also didn't specify why military and civilian authorities decided to launch the sting, which began in the fall. Several of the suspects are medical marijuana patients or providers. The sting, called Operation Endless Summer, netted $50,000 to $60,000 worth of drugs, Lindbergh said, including 2 pounds of crystal methamphetamine, a half pound of powder cocaine, 1 gram of heroin, 100 ecstasy pills, 6 pounds of marijuana, and more than 400 marijuana plants. Investigators also recovered 7 guns and about $19,000. See, this is where you have to understand and be through the system to see what's really going on. With every start coming into play. Now, but just off the information that I read, guns were involved, co-defendants, 33, 19 pending arrest, coke, meth, ecstasy, guns. There's nobody in their right mind who's been through the system that's going to be like, yep, probably get out of that one with probation. Nope. Not with Johnny Cochran. Not. Authorities made their arrest in late January. And early February, all of the 33 suspects are civilians, except for 2 enlisted sailors, Lindbergh said. A list of suspects, adults in their 20s to 40s, won't be available for several days, Lindbergh said. One of the accused, Eugene Zenrut, whatever his name is, had his arraignment postponed yesterday because he wanted to hire his own attorney. He faces charges of selling marijuana on 2 occasions. At least 4 defendants were medical marijuana patients or caregivers who provide pot to sick people, the district attorney's office said. According to court papers, they illegally possessed, transported, or sold pot to undercover agents. Well, holy fuck. Wait a minute. We're narrowing this. She's in that group. You wouldn't think Spirit would have told her that guy gives off bad vibes. Don't sell to that guy. No pot for him. So no psychic intuition, just so I'm understanding this correctly.
Fake news. Fake news. Fake news.
But Richard, a medical marijuana advocate, said yesterday that police knew about his cultivation system because he showed it to them in 2005. They said they were impressed and left, Hertz said. On February 3rd, more than a dozen agents entered his home in Claremont, handcuffed him, and dismantled thousands of dollars. Hold on. I lost my damn article. Give me a second, guys. I'm going right back to it. Here we go. There's so much to read. They said they were very impressed and left. On February 3rd, more than a dozen agents entered his home in Claremont, handcuffed him, dismantled thousands of dollars worth of equipment. Hertz said he was approached last fall by what turned out to be an undercover agent who wanted to buy medical marijuana. He called me and he said, he was in dire need, Hertz said. I talked to him about I talked to him for about 30 minutes and then sold him an ounce of pot. That's how I got me for the sales. Two other defendants, Donna Lambert and Deanna Sanchez, are accused of selling marijuana to an undercover agent. Court papers confirm that they run medical marijuana delivery services. I know there are people out there that can legitimately benefit from marijuana, said Steve Walter, Assistant Chief of Narcotics Division for the DA's office. This thing also involved San Diego service. Hold on, guys. I gotta get this into a different window. Here we go. Let's do this. Right there. They want you to buy shit, and it keeps, Xing me out. We just handled it. What's that? That can't be the whole article. Okay. There's a lot of this whole sting, guys. Just give me a second. This is going for people like the lady on the screen who comes in just blindly, like, what type of a moron are you? And just because I'm talking to you right now, here's your Donna Seraphina with the whole court process, with her little sign. I told you she was a Karen. Donna Lambert trial set for October. Just chill. She did an online grift back then too, try to get supporters, but no readings. Nowhere in what I'm reading you'll find any psychic or reverend Donna Seraphina. it was after the convictions and whatnot that she found the internet and said, you know what? I can get my grift on over here. All right, why this is loading. For EBT internet, McDonald's Wi-Fi. I got the Ethernet in too, man. Okay, I just took it off Ethernet, y'all. Seems to be better. Let me stop that, refresh everything. So look, it's just an article of all the people that got arrested. It's the opening part of her. She gets arrested for, there's 33 people. There's a lot of people. There's people who got arrested for ecstasy. Let me reread that part at least. So I don't know where I cut off, but it says this. Here's all you need to know. The sting called Operation Endless Summer netted 50,000 to 60,000 worth of drugs, 2 pounds of crystal meth, a half pound of powder cocaine, a gram of heroin, 100 ecstasy pills, 6 pounds of marijuana, 400 marijuana plants, and $19,000. With also gun arrests. So who is Donna knowing? Who does she know? Now, there's all types of other shit going on, right? But there's people who just thinks this lady is like a saint. This lady will say, you know, you've been to prison, you're going back. Lady, you fucking almost got indicted. I never had 33 fucking co-defendants. That would make you a moron. That would make you a moron. Who wants co-defendants? Dirt. But you state you have all this college education. I'm not even going to doubt it. I believe it. I absolutely believe it. And all these articles in you were, Donna, you were like the plug. You were the plug. I hear you talk about like all these druggies and whatnot, right? When you talk about true crime creators and stuff, all these drug addicts. Well, fuck. Wasn't that your old clientele before Spirit came around? You were the plug. You were absolutely the plug. But Donna, I don't see anything about psychic in these articles that I'm going to finish out reading. I also, Donna, don't see anything about missing children. You went all the way to college, spent all that money, probably learned some business skills. You go to set up a business. How do you get caught? How do you set up a place where you can sell bud? All you need is a license, but you get caught selling the bud without the license.
Because she has like 7 licenses issued to her legal name.
I know.
As marijuana, medical marijuana.
I haven't got that far yet.
So that's how she's selling her own shit legally and illegally, fucking dumbass.
Well, I haven't got that far because the McDonald's Wi-Fi.
I would like you to look at that screenshot.
What? What?
Just fucking look at the screenshot. Okay. You gotta.
On where?
On your Twitter. I'm
The last one?
the picture.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now you get it?
No, it's not that I get it. I remember this. Do you remember years ago we did all this?
Well, I did this a long time ago. Yeah. I remember when I was talking with you about this, remember? And I remember I found this.
Wow. Okay.
You
So-
get it now? You pick it up and put it down?
We're just gonna put this one out for the fuck of it. Donna, you should have left my comments alone. You should have left me alone. You shouldn't have wished prison on me and all these nasty things that you said.
Bitch.
So I'm gonna jump around real
Put down the
fast.
spikes, bitch.
Let's just go down to here for all the people that claim Donna is an innocent saint. If that's a screenshot, why'd you send that as a link? Babe, you heard?
I did. I said something completely.
Oh,
different.
my bad. I got the wrong thing I'm
I'm
sharing.
fucking not listening to you. Well, I am listening to you, but I'm like researching shit to send you to help you.
Hold on. Yeah, but I don't want to confuse people.
5 files.
All right, hold
filled
on.
with shit, and I just found that.
Okay, so real fast, guys, can you see this? This is part of what I initially am going to read. I'll read it out loud. I'm looking for, I got to thank some people for some donations. Kim French, this is directly going to you. Mrs. Lambert, and I'll drop these links for you, sweetheart. Mrs. Lambert, a 47-year-old San Diego resident, began relying on marijuana to cope with her chemotherapy. She struggles with a number of serious illnesses, including hepatitis C. Whoa, time out. Hepatitis C comes from shooting up drugs, being an IV user, which then leads to the next word on this article, cirrhosis, cancer, and Sjogren's disease. She formed a collective with a few patients in 2006 after a federal and local agents raided and closed San Diego's medical marijuana dispensaries. Miss Lambert's case is one of the first cases to be tried since both President Obama and U.S. Attorney General Holder, if you guys know who Holder is, that is Trump's like the bald-headed old man he's the immigration dude. Okay, Tom Holder, you guys have seen him, right? The old man. Obama and U.S. General Holder said they would not spend federal resources to undermine states' medical marijuana laws. It's also one of the first medical marijuana cases in the Supreme Court, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it's a big deal because frankly, because you're a moron. The state and the feds don't want to come after you federally because it's let's get rid of this. Go back here. Come on, without matter. We'll get through it. I'll have to read it. So this shit's long. This, guys, I'm going to drop these links in chat. Court in San Diego denies valid request for dismissal. I guess I'll show that real fast. Who do we have here? Donna Lambert's trial set for October. Supporters urge district attorney to end the case now. Lady, why didn't you just get a fucking license to sell your weed? You're all mad and in my comments lying to my supporters, lying to your supporters, sending weird people over here defending you, and they look stupid. But just like Benny Keys asked who this person is on his post, where it was a link to this weird GoFundMe, you have a whole bunch of alternate weird names. They're not Spirit.
Come on, you are fake news. Okay, you're fake news.
So by your own logic, you went to college, you become a reverend just to up and fuck it up by getting convicted for selling pot out of a store that you can legally sell pot. Make that make sense. Make it, but there's no mention of you doing readings. There's no mention of any psychic business. Nothing. Because that came later, people. That came after the college. That came after she fucked her life up. That came after she forgot to get the license for the thing she opened the business for. What'd you try to set up, an Uber pot delivery service? You just forgot to get the license? And you call everybody else dumb and they'll be back in prison. So I'm going to read a little bit of this. Superior Court denied medical marijuana patient Donna Lambert request for dismissal. Miss Lambert supporters urged the district attorney Bonnie Dumontes did not pursue the case, upheld, blah, blah, blah. The next thing. The next thing says this. Let's go there together. I'll drop this in chat in one sec. Look at this. I'm disappointed in today's ruling, but I'm resolved to fight this Idronish case against me, said Miss Lambert, who faces 7 felony counts for providing medical marijuana to another qualified patient. I have not broken the law, and I have no intention of letting the country just run over my rights and the rights of all medical marijuana patients to follow doctor-recommended treatment and to help each other. Lady, you don't have to be a psychic and all to understand that you need a license to do the things that you're doing. Here you are filing motions, they're getting dismissed, denied, and you're telling the media, well, wait a minute, I didn't really break the law. What had happened was, lady, you have to be one of the dumbest people. Are you following this, people? No sound still. I'm sure we can dig a lot about Aunt Lauren. She says she became a psychic after her daughter died. Yes, Ivy's mom, and I have reviewed this before. And so what she really claims, I'm very happy that you brought that up. She claims that her daughter was murdered, and there's a true crime mystery behind it. And the truth is, people, they found her daughter overdosed in a pool. Now, whether she is claiming, somebody did that to her, I don't know. But if you look at the facts of the case, it looks like her daughter, unfortunately, went swimming after getting high. I don't mean that with any ill intent. There's no laughter points in that. It's not a dig. Because also myself, I've lost somebody to addiction. It's not funny. There's there's nothing good in all of it, but the only thing, you have to either accept reality or there's other alternative motives. You know, I could also tell you guys that my brother was actually murdered. And there is a big, I have a conspiracy. I could sell that to you. Sure. But in all reality, my brother overdosed. It's just what happened. If you look into it, this lady's a complete fraud, in my opinion. Now, I don't want to talk about her daughter. I don't know. But in my opinion, I think it's a grift. There's a couple of YouTubers around these YouTube streets that use deaths as a grift, in my opinion. Miss Lambert is one of 14 medical marijuana patients arrested earlier this year after undercover law enforcement agents worked for 6 months to become qualified medical marijuana patients and join lawful collectives. At a February press conference, the DA said these arrests were part of an action called Operation Endless Summer, aimed at people who were preying on military housing. Miss Lambert's case stems from help she provided to one undercover agent who had a valid doctor's recommendation. Donna Lambert is on trial. The district attorney is up for re-election next year. This is about headlines, not justice, said Margaret Dooley Samueliti, Deputy State Director for Drug Policy Alliance. This may be politics as usual for Miss Dumanis, but it's life and death for Donna. Miss Lambert, a 47-year-old San Diego resident, began relying on marijuana to cope with chemotherapy. She struggles with a number of serious illnesses, including hepatitis C, cirrhosis, cancer, Sjogren's disease, never heard of that. She formed a collective with a few other patients in 2006 after federal and local agents raided and closed San Diego's medical marijuana dispensaries. Miss Lambert's case is one of the first cases to be tried since both President Obama and U.S. Attorney General Holder said they would not spend. We did that one. Let me keep you up where I'm at. So that was about all. That ends right here. Okay, we did that. Give me a sec. Operation Endless Summer. I'm going to drop a link in the chat. I'm trying to get this to play because the entire article, this is a separate article right here that I'm showing you. It is a long, very long article about basically Donna's convictions, her denying her convictions, who she got arrested with, and all this other stuff, right? Military bases. It's all very weird. It's all very weird, right? We can do this. Here we go. Watch this. Ready?
Many in drug sting lack military ties. Sweep set to focus on off-base housing. When city? Federal law enforcement leaders announced a major drug sweep in military housing.
sponsor message, then we're back. A t-shirt and jeans, mac and cheese, oceans and sunsets. Some things in life are an obvious match, like RIAs and Schwab Advisors services. The number one choice for independent advisors looking for a custodian who can help them go further. With all the wealth services, technology, and support an RIA firm needs, the difference is so obvious, it's Schwabious. Find your match and learn why custody is just the beginning.
Oh, that's lame. They do the damn when you put the AI recording on, they do the commercials too. I'll drop all this in the chat, man. But the point is, this lady is a complete fraud, y'all. She's got massive convictions. Now, here's where I'm at with it, right? What it doesn't say, right, is what it doesn't say or specify is the convictions. Now, she's in my comments saying she's not a convicted felon, this and that. Bullshit. It also doesn't say how, because in my opinion, what I remember seeing back a while ago, we did this. This is just a refresher for what I saw in my comments the other day. But what I saw was, what was not clear was it looked as though like Donna got probation. She got some things dropped, but she got probation for all these drug charges that the feds were involved in, the ATF, 33 people, there's guns, there's ecstasy, there's crystal meth. Her co-defendants got hammered. She got like a breeze. And then what you see is the creation of Reverend, or psychic, I should say, Donna Seraphina. Back when I'm showing you guys my comments in the beginning of the live, when she's if you go back to that video that I made where she called Benny's probation officer, you'll see her all in here. At some point, I think she knew this was coming. So what she says is, she's proud. Wrong one. Where's it at? Hold on. Here we have it right here. So in my own comments, she says, here it is. I've never been convicted of a felony. And then 2 seconds later, as I'm responding to her, dropping links of all these articles that I'm reading and not reading, she writes a freaking Bible. I don't have the screenshot capability to put it all on the screen, literally. But if you want, go to that video, go to the comments, find it. She writes how proud she is about standing up for medical advocate. Wait a minute, which one is it, lady? Are you a felony or an advocate? Just stand on it. Just stand on it, right? But what's weird is you tell these people that you don't have these things, that you're not this. I'm this. I should go back to prison. I'm the bad person. You look silly. Now, if we tie all this shit into missing children, people, this gets really weird. This lady, her ego is out of control. She lies like all hell, right? But she tries to claim she found the children in the Daybell case, when there's footage of a detective, the lead detective, saying, no, that's false. She'll tell her supporters, this is all me. And then when you look her up, there's all these weird hyperlinks. And that comes into all the weird alt names that she has. The alt GoFundMes, right? The alt ways of selling illegal weed, right? It's weird. Donna, like I said, she is educated, but when you Google her, she's got ways to divert shitty information. So when you Google her, it all you see is good. She's smart. I'm not going to take that from her. I mean, in a sense, she's computer savvy, I'll say, but at the same time, a complete moron. I wish I went to college. You wouldn't see me going to prison. Lady, you have got life all the way fucked up. You get no apology. Stay out of my comments. Stop lying to my subscribers, but start telling yours the truth. Okay, a lot of people were texting me when I was live. My internet's bad. Let me see. Call on mods, text. Let me check your messages. So Kim French says, jealous, she knows more than you. Kim French, so I want you to comment on Donna's. Oh, Kim French apologized. Okay. So now we're making progress. So for all you people that didn't know, and I know that you believe me because I said it was out there, and this is really light, Donna. Donna, what I need you to do is not worry about what White Boy says over here. I'm going to do what I do always. You're all the way in the psychic community. You're way over there. Why are you in my comments doing lies? I can't have my subscribers get lied to. I care about them too much. I'm sorry. You're lucky I don't care about you too much to go full White Boy on you. I could get up here, do what I got to do to get a stable connection and really expose the fuck out of you. But I don't want to. I don't care about you, right? You're funny to me. You're a clown to me. You're a clown. You are a clown. And you lie. And you really lie. And why don't you just come on the panel? You wrote 725 comments on my video. Just hit the link and we can talk about it. Tell me about the chomos that I'm supporting. Tell me about the prisons I need to go back to. Lady, you are an absolute fraud grifter and a moron. It absolutely is all about the Benjamins. She became a psychic after she fucked her life up. Full White Boy, you got to go back. Kit's been around for Full White Boy. I have calmed down a lot. I don't want to get banned. She lied about a lot. This is the second live that I've done kind of showing her stuff, which I never fully intended to do this tonight. But there was too many questions in my comments of that video that I didn't know the names. And before I could respond to these people's comments, Donna was there firing off comments. And when I saw you say that you're not a felon, that said, you know what? I'm going to do a reminder live for everybody, for your subs, my new subs who haven't seen this information. And I'll drop the links, people. There's a lot of articles written about this. In my opinion, I think Donna might have told on somebody. That's what I think. I think Donna told on somebody to get a lighter sentence. I think that Donna. Yeah.
That's so funny. I said she got off on a few years probation. All that means is she snitched and gave a few blowjobs.
I think so. I honestly think so. I don't want to say, listen, man, her daughter She might be like in the stages of grief still, and it's tough for me to say that, because if she really believed her daughter was murdered, she would believe that. She wouldn't monetize it on the internet, if that makes sense. She wouldn't monetize it on the internet and have all these people believe that your daughter was murdered. You ever notice these creators who have a death in the family? And there's a lot of them in true crime drama. Like, none of them come out. I've told you guys, like, you know, my brother overdosed. I'm sorry it's not appealing. I'm sorry it's not sexy, right? But it's just the truth, right? I do try to talk about addiction because of that. But some creators will try to sell that, right? They do make it sexy. They do make it conspiratorial and go down that lane. And how wrong is that? And I don't know if that's what she's doing or not. But to call people junkies, to call people convicts, you're hanging around people selling methadone. No wonder you and Fred Hill get along so well. No wonder. It's wild. How do you, as a psychic, not see any of that coming? Any of that? Like, you had to sell multiple different times on different occasions to the undercover police officer who then busted you. You didn't have any feelings, or spirit just said, nah, nope, I'm gone until 2022. Spirit doesn't interact. Spirit doesn't tip you off nothing. Nothing. No, you're a grifting piece of shit. You created Reverend Donna Seraphina. After all that happened, and here you are doing what you do to these cases. That's why you're so mad at people who are calling you out right now. You want to be the king ding-a-ling psychic. You want to have that impeccable name. You want that. But when people review you, tell the truth about you, when people just tell the truth about you, you don't like it, because this is YouTube. The algorithm here works different. Here, you're not able to hide all those videos, as you are when someone Google searches your name. You do a good job of that on Google, and that's why you go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs when you see a video of you on YouTube. You want to call probation officers. You want to do all types of things. And anybody who doesn't go against your narrative has to be a chomo promoter, has to do all this weirdo shit. Nothing that you said is a fact. Nothing. We already knew that from the Daybell case, let alone Summer's case. It's wild. It is wild. This lady is an absolute fraud, people. What has she done? It's very gross, the things she says about Summer. She's an old woman who she has no like receipts on this. She had to think about this weird shit to have. And there's so many people who do that. Bullshit about her. Listen, I believe that, Rachel, but I can't sit up here and honestly tell everybody that that's what happened. I believe it's bullshit. I know a grifter when I see one. And I do believe she made it up. You know, I believe that. I can't possibly prove that. What's up, my crime time? Well, she could never do that. She needs diapers. She needs diapers. Depends. She's a senile grandmother. It's just very weird. No, she never solved the case. Yes, absolutely. They're agitated at the truth. She's a weirdo. And what I don't understand is, like, I don't know the psychic community that well. You know, to be honest, it's like a woman thing. It's like a woman thing. Okay. And there's probably some creators. I know of some. I don't know if I'm saying this right or not. I don't want to call somebody a psychic when they're a medium or vice versa. So I'm just going to use the term psychic. I know there's some good psychics, right? That are good. You know, they don't do anything on YouTube, but I've had a reading before, and I was very doubtful. It was one of my subscribers was one of my very own subscribers was to make me believe. Okay. Very hard-headed. Didn't believe it, but they did a reading and there was a lot of stuff there. And I was like, whoa. But that's not Donna. That's not Donna. Donna has to control. And why does everybody like there, there's all these people, and this is just my opinion, but why does everybody like make her the number one? Do they just believe the lies? Were they like the person in my chat earlier who came in here and was telling me that I have all these charges and she doesn't, and then later apologized? Is everybody just so stupid and blind? It's very possible. It's very possible. But it's wild to me, man. Like, she is the worst, in my opinion. She's the worst. Why is she put on this pedestal? She's a scumbag. What she says about Summer's gross. It's disgusting. Any case. And I'll ask the people who are going to come over here and have a peek at this. And I know that you're going to stay after you have a little peek. See, I know that you're going to be here later on in the stream because there's actual receipts and real articles written about her, right? Her own comments I'm putting on the screen, right? Real receipts. I know you'll be here watching. And I forget what the hell I was going to say, but whatever. Dirty Donna is just a mean old witch that's no good. And I can't believe I caught her in my comments. Oh, it goes deep. There's a lot of stuff there. Listen, if anybody wants to watch this further, let me say this so I'm very clear. I'm going to kind of end. I'm going to kind of end the Dirty Donna saga here in a moment, so I can have a mama bear come up because we need to help the mama bear. She has a story to tell, and she wants to share details of her son who's missing. Okay, I'm going to have her join us here momentarily. Okay. If anybody wants to go down that rabbit hole more of Dirty Donna, I've done a live and I've covered all this. I've covered a lot more than this. Noelle has helped me. Noelle knows how to do all. Noelle knows where to look, people. But I've gone a lot deeper than this. In my view, this is old news to me, right? But it's also comical to me when I listen to this, people. It's comical when this lady out of nowhere, this is what I hear, right?
I'm talking about he's making shit videos about me and this dirty white boy. I can't wait till this dirty white boy kid goes back to fucking Everybody on his cell phone is going to know that he's been spending 2 years sticking his head in the ass of a pedophile. He's been promoting the pedophiles. Yeah.
So what, just so everyone's clear, what she's trying to say is she's trying to say that I promoted Don Wells, right? And her friend is like, well, wait a minute. He doesn't even talk to Don Wells anymore. Dirty Donna, the senile Karen, is so out of touch with things, right? She's such a moron. She doesn't know this. And then in her entitled Karenness, she wants an apology. No, there'll be no apology, but there'll be an awareness live about your felony convictions, making you look like the biggest jackass for saying something like that. So you, in your own words, by your own logic, everybody that goes back to jail, that goes to jail, goes back to jail. Well, when are you going back? Well, when are you going back? So I'm gonna drop the links, y'all. And if you came in late, I can't really say I'm a medium or a psychic, but I am a fortune teller. And this is what Dirty Donna will be eating for dinner tonight, because she is an official shit eater. She's a shit eater and a fraud. All right. I do want to separate the two things now, because I want to have Miss Teresa join us. Now, before I call Miss Teresa up on the phone and have her join us, I want to kind of show you guys what's going on with this case. This is a case out of Florida, northern Florida. This is the disappearance of Ian Rogers.
He disappeared.
Ian Rogers' mother last saw him at her home on August 26th of last year. And our Stacey Inez spoke with her about these difficult last 12 months.
Well, 1 year ago,
Y'all
Ian Rogers disappeared. And his mom, Teresa, says she still has hope that someday he might come home. Law enforcement says even though his truck was spotted, it's not confirmed if Ian was the one driving.
That's his brother. And there's Ian and Aiden and his uncle. Baseball.
Teresa Rogers holds on to the last memories of her son Ian, who disappeared 1 year ago.
I just never thought that it would be the last time I spoke with him.
That last time was around 9 a.m. on August 26th in 2024. Ian had recently been promoted at work.
Ian's boss came to our house and said that Ian hadn't shown up for work that day. That's when we knew there was something wrong.
On top of that, his son's 10th birthday was the next day.
And he never would have missed that. They had big plans for that day. He never would have missed it.
She says Ian was a proud father.
I have a picture of him, and he's holding, his son, and he's just looking down at him, and it's priceless, just the look on his face. And they have a good time together. They play baseball. Ian taught him to swim and ride a bike, and he's a great dad because he was so childlike himself.
The Wakulla County Sheriff's Office is leading the investigation into Ian's disappearance.
Missing persons cases can be very difficult, especially adult missing persons, because technically a person can be missing if they want to. We've worked.
So a few people in the comments have followed this. A couple people have covered it on YouTube. That would be Miss Teresa, who's going to join me here in a moment. And it's pretty sad. Now, having a YouTube channel, every now and then people contact you for help, and you try to help. I always try to help a mom with a missing child, but by me covering it, I can give awareness. That's actually the best thing that we can do. Because, as a creator, you can have your subscribers help share the flyers and whatnot. Beyond that, single-handedly, I did try to hook Miss Teresa up with SF Investigates. Now, sadly, I don't know if they've spoken yet. I know SF is very busy. Plus, he's got that other situation that I just did a video on this week. So I don't know if they have had a conversation yet, but that's like the best thing that you can do for a family. You know what I mean? I know I am friends with somebody who is a private investigator who has literally found 20 plus missing people. And, you know, by far, all of us sharing the posters and whatnot is the best thing that can happen. Now, if I was Donna, I would make up a big lie, grift, say some weird sexual things about her son, but I'm not going to do that. However, this is an interesting case because out of Florida, he is living with his girlfriend. He ends up going to work. His son's birthday is, I think, the next day or right around the corner. And never comes home. And then his truck is found in the woods after he goes missing. But no Ian, no trace of Ian. And I asked her a lot of questions. I have my theories. I have a strong theory. I'll share it with you when she joins us. But let me just continue this. So I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to play the update of the truck being found, and then I'll have her join us. Babe, want to give her a call?
Copious amounts of leads of interviews, records, cell phone records, all sorts of different investigative leads.
Captain Brett Sirachi says Ian's truck was last seen through a license plate reader in an area near Tom Brown Park in Tallahassee.
After the LPR hit, that is the last actual credible information that we have, and that was just on the vehicle itself.
But he's smiling in most every picture. And that's his missing poster.
Teresa's oldest, Dale, passed away, and with her other son, Ian, still missing, she's bracing for a difficult holiday season.
I don't know how it'll be this year because Thanksgiving and Christmas were like our holidays, the big ones, you know, and not having him there last year and then, you know, not having him and his brother not there this year.
It's going to be in your Twitter.
You know, it's going to be.
There's herself busy, but in the downtime, she can't help but think about what could have happened to her son, Ian. And of course, if you have any information about Ian or where he might be, you're asked to call the Wakulla County Sheriff's Office. In Wakulla County, Stacey Inez, WCTV Eyewitness News.
Well, thank you, Stacey. Hopefully the story will help to generate some new leads in that 20 open missing cases across the Big Bend.
All right. Now you have kind of the backstory on it. Now, what happens next is this, which is very strange. I don't want to tell you guys too much more, which is why I have a strong theory, but I think you'll come. I think that you will come. Think that you'll agree with what I'm thinking. So here is a picture of her son. Missing since August, the last bit of August. Man, it's got to be tough for her on the holidays, man. It's got to really, really be hard. And I meant to do this last weekend. I'm sorry. I was thinking. Now, here's the update on after he went missing, guys. Noelle's on the phone with her right now. No problem. Yeah. Put on. Oh, she's here now, I believe. Yeah. Hey, Miss Teresa, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you, Matt?
Doing all right. We were just watching the case details and then the update when the truck was found. There's a couple people in chat that actually very surprised that they have followed the case, which actually really surprises me. That's actually good to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to have you on. I know we talked a few weeks ago. I apologize for not having you on last weekend, but I had the connection issues. You know, when we spoke, I tried to give you SF's information. Have you spoke with him yet?
No, I sure haven't. I know he's really busy. So I just haven't contacted him.
All right. I'll try to reach out to him myself. Is there any updates as far as of late?
No, the last thing yes, actually. After they found the truck, there was North Florida search team went out and did a search there on dogs, tracking dogs, and then they had a ground search out there, looking for Ian. So that was pretty great. They didn't find anything, of course, which I don't know if that's a blessing or a curse.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. So how many searches? Can I ask you how many searches the police offered to do, and how many they assisted you guys in?
Well, as far as I know, there's been 3. There was one way back at the beginning. I've been told that. I don't know that for a fact, but I've been told that. Then there was one just before Thanksgiving, and then there was one, this last one just after Thanksgiving. So there's only been 3, that are official. A lot of people have been wanting to go out there and look, but we've tried to say, let the police do their thing. So if there's any evidence or somebody comes across something, it doesn't get destroyed or trampled or whatever.
Yeah. So I played it, but for people who are joining, there's some questions too that are asking. I'll put them on the screen for you. Okay. Somebody asked what happened with the other son. They didn't say that because I was showing a clip, but they didn't really play. They didn't go into detail about your other son.
He passed away in February of. I think it's something he got from when he was over in Iraq, but he passed away. Yeah, so it was unexpected and a shock.
I can only imagine. I know the holidays, it's got to be so tough.
Yeah.
Tough. With Ian, he was living with his girlfriend at the time. And what did you learn from that after he went missing? If anything?
Well, I really didn't learn anything. That he'd been there. He took his girlfriend to work that morning. She had to be there at 5, and he went back to the house where they were staying, and apparently fell asleep in his truck, and got up. Was woke up by her dad, and because her family lived there as well. Together, and he came over to my house and said he was going to look for some tools, and he did. I saw him when I was leaving for work about 7:30. He left here about 9, called me said he was on his way to work, and that was the last that I spoke with him. Haven't really learned much, other than that from his, his girlfriend or the family or anything like that.
And were the police able to ping any communication after, from leaving girlfriend's house to clocking in at work? Was anything pinged to a different location?
Well,
Anywhere in between?
he was actually the truck was seen. It was one of the traffic cameras over there by Tom Brown Park. There was a picture taken of that. So apparently his phone was pinged, during that time, but the last time his phone was pinged was at 6 p.m. approximately, over off Tram Road, which is where they eventually, about 2.29 miles from where his phone was pinged was where they found his truck.
Wow.
Yeah.
So some people have some questions. Can you see the screen?
I can. Yes, sir. I don't see any questions though.
I'm gonna put them on the screen. So someone asked, someone says, were all these people questioned?
Yes. A matter of fact, the young lady, his girlfriend, and her dad were the first ones questioned, because, he lived with them. Myself and my eldest son, Daniel, we were questioned. His boss, his best friend, everybody was questioned, but no, we didn't, nobody knew anything. As far as we knew, he was on his way to work that day. And
when the truck was found, did you get any explanation from the police? I mean, they had to have taken, what they say as far as like searching it or scrubbing it or any of that type of stuff.
Well, I haven't heard anything if there was other fingerprints or anything. I haven't been told that yet, which I'm not happy about. They did a search around the truck in the immediate area. The windows were down. There was some clothes and his sunglasses on the passenger seat. It was stuck in the mud, buried in the mud, and no keys, no wallet, no phone, as far as I know. Haven't been told about that either. All of his tools were in the bed of the truck. So, that's... They
don't have like a CCTV type situation in Wakulla where you could to see if it was spotted or pinned somewhere across the county or town before it was ended up wherever somebody ended up leaving it there. There wasn't any CCTV camera footage with like it riding around town with anybody in it or anything like that.
No, there isn't. The only one that, like I said, that they have is that one near the intersection at Tom Brown Park. And that's the only one and we can't tell if Ian's driving or not because it's just the back of the truck. So, we don't even know at that point if it was him.
Somebody says his phone activity. They haven't give you any updates on that, huh?
No, apparently what happened when they pinged it at 6 o'clock that evening, it went either he shut it off or it went dead. And there's been no activity since that time. So.
And yeah, when you communicate with the police, I know we talked off line about like the people handling it and stuff like that. I don't know if you want to get into that. It's up to you. But when you communicate with them, that how is do you feel like they're being informative or more like withheld on you?
I think they're withholding, and I understand they have to do that to some degree, just to keep things close to their chest, just in case there's been foul play. But whether there were other fingerprints in the car, you know, I don't think that's a real big yes or no. You know, they don't have to tell me whose they are or anything like that. If there are other ones, you know, they just, I don't think that they're being as forthcoming as I wish that they would be.
Right. No, I get it. I get it. Yeah, I would want to know too, you know, when we see it a lot on these cases, it's just wild. It's almost like you have to get that information, but they just won't, you know. It's got to be a struggle, especially with the holidays. Your son's gone. It's got to be so, you must be going crazy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really hard. I heard a Christmas song today in the store, and it's like almost broke down. You know, Christmas is, like you heard on that video, was our big, you know, holiday. We always did it up really big. So, you know, this is really hard this year.
Yeah, I remember. I know. I remember when I lost my brother. When my brother died, my mom, it really hit her hard around. It hit the whole family around the holidays. But my mom, you know, she was really bent backwards on that, and it was just tough to watch. And at least, you know, do you think what is your gut feeling about, like, the entire situation? I know it's got to be. I guess before I ask you that, like, I've helped a lot of parents in these cases. Some go bigger with the news, and some don't. And I have some understanding on kind of like what you guys go through, but like, what does this whole thing feel like? Like, if you have to explain it, like, people, you know, watch this, they pay attention to true crime and then to cases, but to actually go through this, like, how did it feel getting that call?
It's just,
yeah, guys, go ahead.
It's hard. It's hard to describe, because you know, like I said, on one hand, you want them to find him alive, but on the other hand, you know, like when they found his truck and there's nobody in it, you know, and there's no sign of foul play, what happened? You know, what did he do? Get the truck stuck in the mud and get out and walk away? You know, and then where did he go? Did he get eaten by a panther? Did he get, you know, fall in a sinkhole? Did he get back on the road? You know, there's so many things. And that's one of the reasons I would really like to find out if there are other fingerprints, because if there was, then there's more to the story than him getting it stuck in the mud, or, you know, somebody else was in the truck, they got stuck in the mud. Well, then where's he? You know, is he in the area where his phone was pinged? You know, which wasn't too far.
What's your gut feeling telling you?
Originally, I had thought that maybe he had OD'd in his car. Go
ahead.
Now, I don't know if he was driving, and this is a new truck to him. He had it for maybe 3 days, I think. And to take it out mud bogging, you know, just doesn't make sense to me, that he would do that. But then again, so if that's the case, then he would have got out and walked, I guess. But, you know, walk to where? I mean, he was slap in the middle of the woods. I mean, in the woods, and thick woods too. He just happened to be on a fire break. And, you know, right. I don't know how unless he followed the road out, but then again, it's nighttime. It would have been nighttime. You know, I don't know whether he had a flashlight. You know, there's so many things that I just don't know now, you know, and if he was high or whatever, you know, that definitely complicates things.
It does, because I'm so glad you brought it up, because it's hard to ask stuff, you know, I try to be respectful with asking questions, but I will tell you, like, one thing I know about this whole stuff with helping parents in these cases and stuff is it absolutely sucks, but I think everything should be thrown out there, and every possibility should be looked at. And because I don't know how many people's going to watch this, 3 or 3 million, this video. I have no idea. It's whatever happens. And the more information out there for people to take in and look at and decipher and sleuth it out and whatever they do. And all we can ask people to do mainly is share his poster and get the word out there. But do you know anything about any past drug use or the girlfriend or any of that?
Yeah, I was, you know, in the beginning, I was kind of reluctant to say anything because my concern was that they just go, you know, the police or whoever just go, just another addict, you know. I knew that he, you know, used opioids, you know, and that was the, you know, a couple times that he got a couple bad ones and, you know, and went out here actually at my house. And so I thought maybe that's what happened again. You know, I know he'd been up all weekend. And so I'm sure he was looking for, you know, something to keep him going through work. And, you know, I don't know if he, you know, if he found something or from somebody that he didn't know, you know. I know he's had issues with it on and off. I didn't realize the extent of the issues, I guess. I didn't know that he'd lost his job because of it. So it was a little bit worse, I think, than I thought it was.
I think that just the subject alone, and I understand what you mean, like you don't want to be looked at like as another addict and stuff like that, but I think the element of drug use gives you way more opportunity for answers. I mean, because there's so many other questions that can be asked with that whole situation, you know what I mean? Like there's a whole bunch of other questions that could be asked. And what if this could be on a traffic intersections camera, or who this person's phone being pinned, or, you know, so many other, a lot of different questions could be asked from that. So I do think it's important that's out there. I mean, do you feel like the conversations you had with the boss and the girlfriend, they're giving you the whole truth?
Oh yeah, I believe so. Yeah, absolutely. They have, you know, Ian and his boss they went to high school together, you know, so he is totally upfront, you know, about everything. And his girlfriend, yeah, I believe she's being upfront with me. She's, you know, the one who first said, you know, you need to be looking in this direction, you know, as far as meth, you know, or coke, you need to be looking in those directions, you know. Which I knew anyways. I didn't know about the meth, but I did know about, you know, that coke was his, you know, DOC.
Yeah. So, people say, is there proof that he was with his truck, or did he dump it there? Local dealers, foul play.
I think it was foul play. I said that in the comments before she came
the location.
I think it was something. I think it went bad before he even got to the point where he could have done something. If he overdosed, he would have been found in or right around his truck.
Well, that's,
you don't overdose an hour later from you know, a hot shot of cocaine or anything.
Well, that's what I mean by there could be a lot more
I
questions to ask, because if somehow there was an overdose, then somebody got scared and did something, and if this was the situation, they could have, you know, and then put his truck over there. You know, people don't realize now in Florida, especially Florida, if you overdose, you can't get in trouble. Like if you're
we're partying and one of us has an overdose, and the person that is with one, you know, the one that does the overdose calls the cops, that person's not going to jail because you're saving the other person's life.
Yeah. So it used to be in Florida, and some people know this, some people don't. And it's unfortunate, right? That they recently changed the law. People getting high together and stuff like that. There's been so many cases of people like getting high together and somebody overdoses and they get scared and they run away. So instead of that person doing the right thing and going to get help for somebody that they're with that's overdosing, they get scared because Florida used to charge you for possibly the death, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people would scatter away and get scared instead of doing the moral thing of going to get help. So they changed that law to where there's a law now literally to where if you're with somebody and they full on overdose, if you pick the phone up and call the police can't even search you. If they can come out, the paramedics come and assist the person who you called for, but any cops that come with them, they can't search you or pat you down. They have to leave you alone.
It's important because
But
you could overdose, but you need to know what you overdosed on.
Yeah.
I can't treat you. I can't give you, something to bring you out of an opiate overdose
Right.
if you're on, meth or something like, what I mean? Like Narcan isn't the fix all. So they could literally try to revive you and actually kill you because whatever they're giving you counteracts with the drugs you're on. So they need to know what's going on.
So people don't realize that, and they still scatter, where it's wild.
But no, I think they would have left in the truck and just left. Like you don't just leave the truck and take the person with you and leave them somewhere.
Well,
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, but that's what I was trying to say here. Like with the, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, initially you thought like just another addict. I don't want to say drugs, and I completely get that. But at the same time, like there's so many more questions to answer because, like Noelle was saying, in my eyes, just a couple things like, what if this could have been the dealer that he went and got stuff off? Did he rent the truck out to the dealer? Did he let him borrow it? There could have been so many different questions to ask, and which can help. Instead of, we know his phone was off in the last pin location, but there's got to be a call log in his phone with who he was calling and dealing with, and then have those phones been pinned or looked at, or location and all that. There could be a lot more things on that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, apparently so. I mean, if we when he first went missing, we had an inexperienced, I guess, detective who kind of kind of messed things up a little bit. So we didn't get his phone or social media or anything till 3 months later. So they did look at all of that, and there's nothing to be seen apparently. No text messages, no phone calls, that were related to the situation at all. So the only thing I can think, I know, is he went wherever, he would go to buy, and, maybe ran into somebody there. He had money in his pocket.
Yeah, absolutely.
I could see that, but most people they call the guy, hey, you got so and so, meet me over here, blah blah blah. There's communication, you know what I mean? It's just weird. Why 3 months?
Because
is that how long it takes?
No, she made out the warrant incorrectly. And so we didn't get bank records. We didn't get anything for 3 months. And then the detective that is in there now, he took over and he got it within, 2 weeks. I was looking at his bank records, his social media, everything. So we lost 3 months, basically, because she made a mistake.
He's been gone almost a year now, right?
No, he's been gone. It was a year in August. So what's that?
Okay.
16
Yeah.
months?
August.
Yeah.
Yeah, about that. Oh man, it's so oh, one thing I forgot. What should be mentioned, he wouldn't have just up and disappeared because his son's birthday was what, the next day or the next week?
The next
Next day.
day. And they
we
had
didn't see that.
big plans. I mean, they did a big birthday breakfast. You know, he was going to come over because he and, his son's mom were splits, but he was still going to come over and have a big breakfast. He was going to pick him up at school, after school in his new truck, and they were going to go do some dude things and, have birthday cake and everything. And then they were going to have like a family, with friends and everything on Saturday. He was supposed to make all the arrangements and everything. And that didn't take place. And he never would have missed his son's birthday. Never in a million years. I will never believe that.
How's that? Yeah, yeah. What is the young man's name, age, and state? He's missing from Florida. It's Ian Rogers. I'll give you guys the flyer. I'll drop the links that I played before Miss Teresa came on here. I believe she has a Facebook group too that they share stuff, keep up with stuff. Yeah, what's the group called?
Operation Bring Ian Rogers
Miss
Home.
Teresa?
It's Operation Bring Ian Rogers Home. And if anybody's interested, and they can just, ask to be invited, and I'll invite them, we'll invite them in. That's where we post everything that we find out. It's not a whole lot all the time, but we do post things there.
Yeah, it's crazy, you guys. I'm gonna make sure you guys. I'll post it on my community wall after this live ends, so you guys can have a clear shot. I'll put it on my Twitter, my Facebook. Share share the poster. It's the best thing we can do. It's a case out of Florida, northern Florida. It's very strange. It's very it's just like a lot of these cases that we see. There's just not a lot there. It's almost like it's like he vanished. I used to. I get mad when people say that. From helping people, helping parents and stuff. It's almost like it's almost like a dig or a shot to people who have been through it. And they'll say children don't just disappear or people don't just vanish, and it does happen. And sometimes you have not a lot of questions to ask, and it's a shame, it can happen. I don't think I'll ever say those words to jinx myself, or I've seen it, and I used to get mad when people would say that about families going through it, because they would think there's foul play with the family and whatnot, but obviously that's a total different situation with you. Are you still talking to the girlfriend? Are you still talking to the boss, or is there really nothing left there to talk about?
Well, there's not really anything to talk about, but yeah, I talked to both of them on Facebook, and they're both part of the, the operations page. So, definitely, because, you never know something, they could know something or, find something out. It could be the littlest thing, and they can go, oh, I remember this. And, so yeah, absolutely. Talk to anybody and everybody.
The truck being dumped is a distraction. People say, what's up, Miss Paula? Welcome in, written in the stars. I don't know, guys. I don't have answers for, but my crime time says they'll share it. I want you guys to share it. I'll just put it out there for awareness. Reach out to Miss Teresa if you have any answers. If you have any questions, I'm sure she could use someone to talk to. Join her group, get involved, and help. It's Florida. You guys know we always help Florida. But it's just sad. It's sad. We've had a conversation offline, and I guess my part, the best I can do is try to reconnect you with SF. I know he is busy, with this time of year, but I will try to reach out to him and get him to get a hold of you tomorrow. Anything else, Mr. Reese?
Well, I did want to say, I don't know if y'all know that they found a remains out in Soptopi in McCullough County, and they're still waiting. Another thing we haven't got, whether male or female or anything like that, it would be great if they would just say that it's a male or it's a female,
Yeah.
So that we have that, hanging out there and pending. We had a skeleton out there before, and we finally got an answer out of that after, 4 or 5 months that it wasn't Ian. So we still have this now hanging out there.
Is that how long it took from when they say they found skeleton remains till where it wasn't him? Was it 4 or 5 months?
Well, no, what it was they found it earlier this year, and they compared it to another young man who happens to be missing from Liberty County. And they compared it to him first, and then it was not him. So then they came to me and, did another DNA swab. And from that point on, that was in June, until they found the truck. It was when I found out that it wasn't Ian. So June, July.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll share it out. Any updates or anything else you want to come on, let us know. I'm sure my chat will help you be in contact with you. And, I hope to God you guys get reconnected. I hope you get some, just some clarity. I hope you get some, no matter what the situation or the news is, I hope you get that, it's got to be so frustrating for you to have to go through all this with not any answers and not really any nothing more than what I've showed prior to you jumping on here. There was a couple news clips,
Yeah, it's your mind can go in 50 million directions of what could have happened, and it's, it's frustrating. It's heartbreaking too, so.
Yeah. All right, Miss Teresa, you take care of yourself.
Okay, will do. And if anybody has any questions, good questions also are, we encourage that as well, because, there's so many things that we haven't thought of. So if anybody has any good questions and they want to pass those along as well, please do.
Can I put your Facebook in the link for people to reach out?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. All right, I'll do that, guys. All right, so if you guys want to reach out to her, talk. If you have something to ask her that you didn't want to ask in chat, do it offline and reach out to her. Help her. Try to help her. Help Mama Bear. She's missing her son, guys. Let's help her as best we can. Hashtag find Ian Rogers, y'all. All right, Miss Teresa.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it.
Ain't no problem. Anytime.
Night.
You're right. All right, y'all. That was Ian Rogers' mom, Teresa. Very unfortunate situation. It's tough. It's tough to sometimes ask some of the hard questions. Basically, there's not a lot to go with it. He came up missing. He was living with the girlfriend. They got the boss there. His truck just ends up in the woods. The detective in the case in the beginning kind of fumbled the ball on a few things. Seems like they got a better detective handling the case. After that, as you could, she said they lost like 3 months on the phone pins and the social media stuff, and there's just really nothing there. Talking to her offline and stuff, I think there's a little bit of addiction there, and it's got to be hard. Like even for me, like I've talked to her before, and I kind of know about this, and I don't want to pry it out of anybody on panel, but at the same time, you have to be mindful like of everybody, and it's got to be kind of hard to say that. But I just think that in this situation, I don't know if it is a normal thing. Like I think it works to her benefit. Like it opens up more more questions to be asked. You know, you get, you know, there's more stuff to ask with that element. I think I could be wrong. You know, we see this stuff all the time. You know, I could use Don and Candace for example. How many times have they changed their story, or you know, or been caught in the lie, or this or that? And it's because of kind of the same thing, but you know, totally different situations. But nobody wants to come out and say, hey, you know, there may be addiction stuff there, just like she said. But hiding that, I'm not saying that could only maybe hurt you in better brainstorming ideas, I guess. With Don and Candace, they different situation. They would try to like change what they said and get caught in lies, but all for the same sort of thing, you know, public perception. And I just think, you know, in this situation, the transparency wins because it's going to only help you, especially if you're stuck with nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that's all. That's just where I'm at. Yeah, 100%, because that's 100%. I agree with that. The girlfriend knows what happened. It's very tough. I think that I think that also the girlfriend knows more than what she's saying. And I think that there is definitely an addiction aspect to this, and maybe even an overdose. But we don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. We don't know. I just want her to get some type of clarity. I want her to know, you know, obviously this is not like a little boy, but it's still her son. You know, it's still her son. It's not a missing child. It's a missing person, but it doesn't matter. Still should have clarity. Still should have answers. Still should have not to wake up every day like she's been waking up. And it's sad. There's just nothing there, y'all. There's nothing really there. You can Google it. You can look into it. You can go to the Facebook group. But unfortunately, there's just nothing there. You know, it's so unfortunate. But yeah, share the photo around. I'll post the links to all of Donna's stuff, to all of Ian Rogers' videos. There's been some creators who've covered it. Shout out and respect to them. But that's the best thing we can do to help her. It does hurt no matter what the age. And if you guys want, reach out to her, help her out. Link her up with another creator who might cover it. I don't know. Anything and all helps, you know. But all right, man, I'm gonna jump off this thing. It was just kind of, I wanted to do that last weekend, but didn't have time. And Donna is tripping hard. I want to add all the stuff. There's a whole bunch of oh man, I missed a lot of stuff here. Hold on. Wow. Now I feel bad. Man, my mods, I hope you guys help me out here. So I saw facts way stranger than fiction was in here. I appreciate it, man. Elevated. That's all. Merry Christmas, white boy. Thank you, man. He always comes down here and donates. I appreciate that. A couple of new members we got in the beginning. For your EBT internet. All right, guys. I want to jump off here, though, man. No closure. No problem. We'll be live soon, y'all. Make sure you check the videos out. I got a parody upcoming in a few days. I'm making it as I go, so make sure to check it out. And that's all I got tonight, y'all. If I don't see y'all before Christmas, which I'm sure I will, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all that stuff. And till the next one, share Ian Rogers' photo. Talk to Teresa. Try to help her, y'all. All right, guys. I'm out. What's up, guys? Hope you enjoyed the video. Do me a favor, hit that like, subscribe to my clip channel at White Boy Radio Clips, and in the description box is the link to be a member. Become a member if you can. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Stay safe, stay smart. Peace.